Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for the NBA slate on Monday, November the 28th. Now we do have 10 games tonight, so it's a fairly big slate. Recording this video around 1 o'clock Eastern time on Monday afternoon. Prizepicks is starting to add more and more props at the time I'm making this video. The full board isn't quite up yet, but we do have a lot of props available. I got two picks that I want to share with you guys in this video. Two plays I like for tonight's slate. Gonna take a look at the board again in a couple hours. I'm gonna share some more plays for today over on Patreon. As always, if you guys do want more Prizepicks plays from me, provide those on Patreon. You can check that out, linked down below in the description. Before we talk through our two plays for today though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, please hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes, guys, and hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you're new to Prizepicks, if you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, get signed up, use promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But for the two plays I like for today, we're going to talk about a fantasy score prop that I do like, and then we're going to talk about a points prop that I like for today. So for fantasy score, I want to go down to DeJounte Murray. His fantasy score is currently set at 37.5, and I like the over here. And I know the guys that look at the last 5 games, they're not going to like this play because DeJounte Murray, he's only gone over this line once out of his last 5 games. His production has not been the best lately. I will be honest, there. He's also had some very tough matchups though. Like if you look at this string of matchups that he's had, last night he had to face Miami, had to face Cleveland, he had to face Toronto. Before he faced Toronto, he had to face Boston. He had to face Milwaukee. Like he's had some really, really tough matchups. This spot against the Sixers, I think, is solid for DeJounte Murray. Now, the Sixers, they do play at a pretty slow pace, but I assume that they're going to put De'Anthony Melton on Trae Young, and De'Anthony Melton is probably the Sixers' best guard defender. He's going to be harassing Trae Young the whole game, which I think leads to a better matchup for DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray will probably get matched up with Shake Milton. That's definitely a much easier matchup. And last time these teams played, not too long ago, back on November 12th, DeJounte Murray played 38 minutes and he had 49.1 fantasy points. They did play before that. He had 29.6 fantasy points. So he's faced the Sixers twice this season. One game was mediocre. One game was really good. I think this could be a good spot for DeJounte Murray, especially if Trae is having some troubles with De'Anthony Melton. And you look at DeJounte Murray this season, his points per minute. He's been averaging well over a fantasy point per minute. This season, DeJounte Murray's averaging 1.15 fantasy points per minute. He's second on the team with a 25.6% usage rate. Even playing with Trae Young this season, that really hasn't, DeJounte Murray's fantasy per minute productions kind of took a little bit of a hit. I know last season with the Spurs, he was like a guy that put up, he would average like 45, 48 fantasy points per game. He hasn't been quite at that level this season, but he's still averaging over 42 fantasy points per game this season. And I think the reason that his line is so low for today is just because his production has been down lately. But I'll kind of chalk that up to some really tough matchups. I mean, that string of matchups he had going up against Milwaukee, Boston, Toronto, Cleveland, those are 4 of the toughest matchups that you can get. He did pretty solid against Sacramento. He came up just short, had a massive game against Houston, and obviously last night against Miami, that was another really tough matchup. I think this could definitely be a bounce back spot for DeJounte Murray. We know he's going to play massive minutes. He's averaging almost 37 minutes per game this season. He's going to play 36, 38 minutes. He should average over a fantasy point per minute. 37.5 fantasy points, I think, is definitely too low. Usually, anytime DeJounte Murray's fantasy score projection is in the mid-30s, it's almost always going to be appealing to take. I feel like his projection should always be like 40.5, 41.5. I know his production's been a little bit down lately, but I'll kind of chalk that up to some tough matchups. I think in this spot against the Sixers, I think we can see a better game for DeJounte Murray here, better matchup in general for him too. And I like his chances to go over 37.5 fantasy points. He's gone over this line in 12 out of 20 games. Even factoring in his last few games where he's gone under a ton on the season, he's still gone over in 12 out of 20 games. So that's going to be our first play for today. DeJounte Murray to have more than 37.5 fantasy score. And then the pair that I like to go with that is going to be a points prop. I want to go down to Miles Turner. Going to go to this late night game between the Lakers and the Pacers. Miles Turner, 15.5 points. I also like the over here. And one of the reasons I like this play is that this is just going to be such a good game environment. You look at this game total, this Pacers-Lakers game of all the 10 games today currently has the highest total on the slate, 237.5 total, with a pretty close spread as well. Right now, the Lakers are favored by 3, so it's expected to be a very high-scoring game. It's expected to be a close game as well, and it makes sense because when you look at pace stats this season, both of these teams are top 5 in pace the Pacers, they're playing at the fifth fastest pace in the league, and the Lakers are actually leading the league in pace this season. They're playing at the fastest pace in the league. So two very fast-paced teams going up against each other. You should see a lot of shot attempts in this game. Hopefully, a lot of shot attempts for Miles Turner. And in close games this season, Miles Turner has gone over this line in almost every one of their close games. The games where he's gone under, a lot of those have been either blowouts or those were games where he was in foul trouble. So last night they played the Clippers. Obviously, Miles Turner went under his points prop, but he also didn't play his full minutes. He only played 20 minutes. I think he might have been in foul trouble. He had 4 fouls in those 20 minutes. And then the game against the Magic, that was also a blowout. The game he went under, he only played 26 minutes that game. That was a blowout. Go back to, game against Denver, he only played 26 minutes. That was against Jokic. He was in foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in 26 minutes. So that game he went under, but again, it was in foul trouble. You go back to, against Brooklyn, he only had 7 points against Brooklyn, but he played 20 minutes in that game. And then, beginning of the season, he only played 24 minutes against the Bulls. I think that might have been a blowout as well. He had just 5 points in that game. Pretty much every game this season where he's played over 30 minutes, he played 32 minutes against Washington, 27 points. He played 31 minutes against Miami, 16 points. He played 36 minutes against the Pelicans, 37 points. He played 31 minutes against the Hornets, 20 points. He had 17 points in 26 minutes against Houston, 20 points in 34 minutes against Orlando, 31 points in 32 minutes against Minnesota, and then against Brooklyn, 23 points in 34 minutes. So his production has been really good in close games where he plays his full minutes. Pretty much all the games he's gone under this season, again, they were either blowouts or he was limited by foul trouble. Tonight's game has a 2-point spread, 3-point spread, so expect to be a close game. As long as Miles Turner doesn't get in foul trouble, I think he's going to play 30, 32 minutes. It is a back-to-back for the Pacers, but like I said, Miles Turner, he only played 20 minutes yesterday, so I would think he's fully rested. He can handle playing 30, 32 minutes here. If he would have played 36 minutes yesterday, I would have been a little bit worried just because anytime guys play big minutes on the front end of a back-to-back, you kind of always have to worry about them seeing a little, slightly limited minutes on the second half of the back-to-back. But because Turner only played 20 minutes yesterday, I think he's good to play his normal 30, 32 minutes here. Every game where he's played over 30 minutes this season, he scored at least 16 points. This should be a very fast-paced, high-scoring game. We know Turner's going to get the shot attempts. He's going to be one of the leaders on this team in usage. I think on the season, he's 4th on the team in usage. I think this line at 15.5 could definitely be a little bit higher. I feel like anytime Turner gets his full minutes, most of the time he's going to go over this line. And so far this season, he's gone over this line in 9 out of 14 games. The 5 games where he went under, again, either blowout or he just didn't play his full minutes. So that's what I like as our 2 pick for today, guys. DeJounte Murray, 37.5 fantasy score, taking him to go over that line. And then Miles Turner, 15.5 points, taking him to go over that line as well. These are 2 picks I kind of like taking, a first look at the board on, around 1 o'clock Eastern time on Monday. I'm going to take a look at the board again in a couple hours once we get all props added, and I'm going to try and find some more plays I like. I will be sharing more plays for today over on Patreon. I'm going to give a full write-up for every play that I do provide on Patreon, so if you guys want access to those, as always, you can check out the Patreon linked down below in the description. But hopefully we can cash both of these 2 plays, make a little bit of money tonight. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, as always, please hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you're new to Prizepicks, make sure to check them out. Look at the bottom of the screen. You can sign up with my promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But good luck tonight, guys. Enjoy your Monday night. Hopefully we can all win some money tonight. And, best of luck. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.